Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plaguing Evolved official scenarios. Yes, I know, official scenarios on a Thursday, who'da thunk? But if you missed the last couple of videos, we are taking a break from the custom scenarios series, at least for a while, and I'm going to start plowing through the rest of the official scenarios, because doing only one a week is taking quite a while. I'd like to finish this stuff off. We're going to do just these for the next couple of weeks until it's done, and then we can go back to having fun in the custom workshop. So, next on our list is Mirror Earth, and I only have played this once so far on a brutal difficulty and got 3 stars first try, because I was referring to a guide that was written online. Now, I typically do this, right? Whenever I'm preparing for one of these scenarios, is I'll consult online, look for some tips, some tricks, some ideas, some build orders, and then as I practice with it, I'll usually find some problems, I'll try to make some tweaks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, heck, I almost always get 2 stars or above, but not quite the 3 stars that people are supposed to be getting. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I usually tweak it a little bit. With this one, though, it seemed to be incredibly effective, and I am thinking it also will work quite well on Mega Brutal difficulty. So let's test it out. Step through the mirror into the land of opposites, where hot becomes cold and cold becomes hot, rich becomes poor, and you get the idea. Which disease will be the fairest of them all? Well, what's it gonna be? Are we going through the looking glass, or is this a Snow White parody? I mean, I don't even know. Mirror Earth, the description here just kind of sums everything up perfectly. All the hot countries are now cold. All the rich countries are now poor, and vice versa. So let's go ahead and play with the virus. Now, we will be using ATP Boost, Genetic Mimic, and Native Biome, which is something I have not really considered before, but it actually makes some sense. Increases infectivity in your starting country. Now, Aquasite is usually what I would go for because I'm trying to increase my odds of getting into islands, because the islands are what really can screw you over. However, if you are playing Mega Brutal difficulty scenarios and finding that speed is what's usually killing your score and preventing you from getting 3 stars, Native Biome might actually be a good solution, because the sooner you hit critical mass in your host country, yes, the sooner you get detected, but the sooner you start getting a lot of planes and boats out there and start getting a really massive spread, I mean, this can speed your game up significantly. So that's actually something I hadn't really considered before, and it seemed to be pretty effective this time, so let's see what happens. Extremophile, and we will be going for the Symptostasis because this is going to be a very symptom-heavy build. And we will be playing on Mega Brutal. It's called Fuzzball by default. We will be starting in the United States. Now, why the United States? Well, because the United States is originally a rich country, now it is considered to be poor, which makes it pretty much optimal. It has a reasonably sized population. Its airport and its port are very well connected to most of the world, and other typical starting locations, like let's say India, is no longer feasible because India is no longer considered to be a poor country. Now, one thing that does sort of surprise me is that some countries like India, which I thought was usually considered to be a poor country, is not quite rich. It's more moderate. A lot of the wealth has basically been siphoned into Africa more than anything else. Africa is a very, very wealthy place now. But the United States, very good candidate for this particular scenario, so let's go ahead and start over there. We will be going to symptoms immediately and grabbing rash and coughing. Now we're going to go for a lot of the early symptoms, pretty much immediately. And those will get a good amount of severity, and if we time it correctly, we should be able to get pretty much all the Tier 1 and Tier 2 symptoms unlocked just as we are hitting critical mass in the United States and we see a whole bunch of boats and stuff starting to go throughout the world. Which means that is the perfect opportunity for us to get a lot of extra DNA from those red bubbles, because our severity will be a lot higher than we are accustomed to. Let's go ahead and grab those skin lesions. Now we're going to go for some sneezing and stuff like that. You'll kind of see the build order here as we go, but I don't know, it's so far proved to be shockingly effective, and I like it. I'm going to grab cysts, Eurozone near collapse, too bad, so sad. Grab abscesses next. Yeah, lots of extra DNA just as we're getting out to the rest of the world means we have a lot more power to work with than we are accustomed to at this stage of the game. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Again, worked incredibly well in Brutal mode. Will it work really well in Mega Brutal? Not too sure yet. Obviously haven't done it yet. We're going to find out. But yeah, I didn't see any room for tweaking, honestly. It was so effective first try. I mean, I kind of figured I have to just go ahead and do a video on it now, right? So we got our anemia for free. Let's go ahead and grab hemophilia, which will have a combo with the skin lesions. Let's grab insomnia next, then we'll grab paranoia. You'll notice we're just now starting to pick up some speed in the United States. And very soon it should start sending out a whole bunch of different boats and planes and stuff. Profuse bleeding symptom combo because of the hemophilia and skin lesions. Blood pouring out of people's skin. Terrifying, but effective. Alright, now we can focus on getting some transmission. First death in the United States. What did we get that has lethality? No, wait, really though. What do we get that has lethality? Hang on. Oh, sorry, the profuse bleeding combo is lethal. See, I so very rarely work with that, but yeah. That would do it. Okay, we're gonna grab some water transmission here. Water 1 and Water 2, then we're gonna work on some air transmission. Already starting to get a reasonable spread with the United States, getting across Africa, Asia, and Europe and stuff like that. Getting into Iceland next, which is considered to be an arid territory now. I mean, basically take everything you know about the North and the South Pole and just apply it to the equatorial region, the equator. And then, you know, the polar ice caps are now just the polar deserts or something. I don't know. We got inflammation early on. Okay. Well, that finishes off our Air 1 and Air 2. Now we can go for some abilities, I think. We will be going for the drug resistance. We have the Walking Dead symptom combo from insomnia and anemia, which is going to make the cure a little bit slower, which is actually pretty nice for us. Now, we are technically getting into some wealthy countries now, because everything's been flip-flopped, so we probably do want to grab drug resistance level 1 and level 2, but this is the point of the game where we want to work on a lot of different resistances. I think drug resistance is going to be the most important right now just because Africa is going to be very difficult for us to spread in without it, but we definitely should go for some heat and cold resistance next. Since we started off in the United States, we're not especially strong or weak in either, so we will need some protection from both. Africa is considered to be a cold area, though, which is why I'm prioritizing the cold resistance above anything else. But now that we have all of that, I guess we can go back to the symptoms. We'll grab diarrhea, pulmonary edema, and pulmonary fibrosis. And at this point, we have pretty good severity, and we're actually almost maxed out on infectivity, shockingly early. Now, at this point, though, there's not much else that I want to start doing. I don't want to kick out any lethality until I have gotten into the rest of the islands. So we're waiting on Madagascar, waiting on Indonesia, we're waiting on New Guinea. Once we have all of those, oh, and also the Caribbean, can't forget about that. Once we have those, we will worry about grabbing necrosis and stuff like that. So while we are waiting, what we can do is grab some genetic hardening, because I haven't really started much work on the cure yet, so we'll get a lot of value out of picking both of these up right now, as opposed to later. So let's go ahead and do that and save up the rest of our DNA. Internal hemorrhaging mutating for free. Okay, well, looks like we're going for a little bit of extra lethality there, but we're missing Morocco, West Africa, Algeria, and Central Africa at this point. I think we can now afford to go for the necrosis, so let's go ahead and grab that, because we are in all of the islands. Doing really well in Africa. We're missing just Morocco at this point, and Morocco has not closed down their land borders yet, so we'll see how that works out for us. Let's grab dysentery, which is pretty lethal. I'm going to save up some DNA for some heat resistance so we can spread a little faster in the Well, do we care about Greenland? I do care about Sweden. I'm a little bit worried that we're not going to go fast enough there, but maybe we don't care about more heat resistance at this point. Is this where I deviate away from the guide and say, screw it, go for the viral instability? Because we're trying to increase our mutation chances. We got insanity, which slows down the cure. That's pretty nifty. Now we're going to go toward the total organ failure, and we did get into Morocco. Oops, symptom combo. Okay. Total organ failure is going to cost me 42 DNA points at this point in the game. Still spreading through the Caribbean. Yeah, we don't need heat resistance level 2, I don't think. I'm thinking the guide might be wrong on that point. We're already maxed out in pretty much any place that would be considered hot. We got paralysis, which slows down the cure. Let's grab the hemorrhagic shock next. And I guess we'll go for coma. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything. We are not. Morocco is the only country that is not fully infected yet at this point. Coma's going to cost us 22 points. Got that. And that's it. Now we just save every other point we have for genetic reshuffle and buy ourselves as much score as is possible. No healthy people left in the world. 30 DNA points is what I need for the next one. Not sure if we're going to get that. We might. Tumors. No, looks like we're going to be stuck with just 22% cure progress here. I'm not going to get quite enough to get the next genetic reshuffle. Barely, but not quite enough. 3 stars. There it is. that was so freaking effective. Like, it would have taken me forever to figure out a strategy that good. You just follow it down to the letter. The only thing I tweaked is I didn't go for heat resistance 2 when it said to, and that's because I didn't need it, so... Well, golly dang, guys. I'll leave a link in the description to the, it was either a Reddit post directed me to some blog thing that I haven't read before, but I'll forward you guys that one. And it's, yeah, it was great, honestly. Jacob Cor, thank you. That was an incredibly effective strategy, and I could not possibly have done it any better. 311 days, 23% cure progress, 3 stars, 80,000 points. Not half bad if you ask me. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and check out that link in the description if you guys want to see the original post. My name is Pravus, and I will see you guys next time.